Hello, welcome to QAxon. Let's see about the adrenal gland in this video. We're going to see about the hormones secreted by the gland, their mechanism of action, their functions, and the applied physiology. Adrenal glands are called the essential endocrine glands because they secrete life-saving hormones. There are two adrenal glands being situated on upper pole of each kidney. Because of this, they are otherwise called as suprarenal glands. There are two parts of adrenal glands, namely adrenal cortex and adrenal medulla. Let's first see about adrenal cortex. It is the outer portion which constitutes about 80% of the gland. The hormones of adrenal cortex are mineralocorticoids. Example is aldosterone. Glucocorticoids, namely cortisol, corticosterone and cortisone, and androgenic hormones. The hormones synthesized by adrenal cortex are all synthesized from cholesterol. Adrenal cortex has three layers. We are now going to see the different hormones secreted and how they are regulated. Zona glomerulosa secretes a hormone called aldosterone. This aldosterone is regulated by extracellular fluid concentration of angiotensin II and potassium. The next layer, namely zona fasciculata, secretes cortisol and corticosterone. It also secretes small amounts of adrenal androgens and estrogens. These hormones are regulated by hypothalamic pituitary axis through the adrenocorticotropic hormone. The next layer, namely zona reticularis, secretes adrenal androgens and androstenedione. It also secretes small amounts of estrogens and glucocorticoids. These hormones are regulated by ACTH and cortical androgen stimulating hormone. For a quick recap, let me repeat the different layers of adrenal cortex and the hormones secreted by it. We have zona glomerulosa secreting aldosterone, zona fasciculata that secretes glucocorticoids, zona reticularis that secretes androgen. The adrenal medulla secretes catecholamines. So the hormones secreted by the adrenal cortex can be broadly divided into mineralocorticoids and glucocorticoids. So we have aldosterone, which is a potent mineralocorticoid, deoxycorticosterone, corticosterone, which has a slight mineralocorticoid activity. Then we have synthetic mineralocorticoid, namely 9-alpha-fluorocortisol. Then cortisol, it is said to have a very slight mineralocorticoid activity, but large quantity is secreted. Then cortisone, it has slight mineralocorticoid activity. Coming to glucocorticoids, cortisol is said to be a very potent glucocorticoid, corticosterone. Then we have cortisone. This cortisone is almost as potent as cortisol. Then we have these synthetic glucocorticoids, namely prednisone, methylprednisone and dexamethasone. So out of these synthetic glucocorticoids, dexamethasone is said to be 30 times as potent as cortisol. Adrenocortical hormones are transported by being bound to plasma proteins. About 90 to 95% are bound to globulin or transcortin, whereas the remaining are bound to albumin. Once a hormone is formed, it is transported to the target cell and this will result in an action. Now I am going to explain in detail the mode of action of aldosterone. Aldosterone combines with the mineralocorticoid receptor in the cytoplasm. This will result in the formation of hormone receptor complex. This complex will move into the nucleus and a number of new mRNA are formed. The mRNA thus formed diffuses back into the cytoplasm. Now there can be two outcomes. One is the formation of enzymes and another is the formation of membrane transport proteins. Epithelial sodium channel is an important transport protein that is formed, and this will enhance sodium reabsorption. One of the enzyme that is secreted is sodium potassium ATPase. You can note here the two drugs, namely spironolactone and amiloride, are mentioned here. This spironolactone blocks this receptor, whereas amiloride blocks the ENaC channel, that is, it blocks the sodium reabsorption here.